Hey, 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 Mr. Manly here with lesson number 400 in How to Be Manly. Ironic, isn't it, with lesson number 400 and the Pocono 400 coming up. I always enjoyed racing, but I'm looking forward more this year since I took the stock car challenge a couple weeks ago and let it all out at Long Pond. Hoping by doing so, I'll attract some ladies. Every year, I have someone to accompany me, but I always seem to wind up with a flat tire. Anyway, I'm sure that's all coincidental, and once more, I'm off to the races. But first, I thought I'd check out the local vendors that are selling t-shirts. I wouldn't want to show up to race day without proper attire. Then I saw the perfect one. Absolutely outstanding. I knew this would be the one for me. While I was staring at her outstandings, she said, "Hi, my name's Harley. Can I show you something?" While I was gathering my wits, I said I was looking to purchase a t-shirt. And she said, "The one I'm wearing today seems to be a hot seller. Pocono 400, look under my hood," is what it read. I said, "Hey, sold." She said, "Good. I'm ready to close down for the day and I'm starving." I said, "Well, I've got an appetite too. Would you like to dine together?" "Yeah, that'd be nice," is what she told me. So over dinner, I asked, "Do you attend the race? And if so, what are your favorite parts?" She said, "Yeah, I attend. And I love hearing gentlemen start your engines." And then the long, fast pace. And lastly, watching the winner do his victory lap. Well, at that point, I knew I could show Harley life in the fast lane and do so in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 400, and repeat after me. Number 1. Hey, I've got an engine for you to start. Use this ignition key, then watch it ignite. Vroom! Number 2. Hey, Harley, I've got something that'll give you a long, fast pace. And number 3. Shoo-wee, Harley. After tonight, tomorrow morning, I'll be back for my victory lap. Soon after, as Harley grabs you by your ignition key that no longer ignites, while suddenly you have no pace, Harley shouts, "No victory lap for you," you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly and good day.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Harry and Meghan may separate. You know Harry and Meghan are annoying when even Harry and Meghan can't stand Harry and Meghan. An America theme park is coming to Oklahoma. It'll be like a regular theme park, except signs say, "You must be this fat to ride." Slash turns 58 on Sunday. That's been his nickname since he was a child, although there was that rough patch in the mid-90s where he almost lost it to O.J. Simpson.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to loudmouth yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me jacked. I've got a bone to pick with all you political fanboys and fangirls out there on each side of the aisle. Let me just say this. Politics is not sports, nor should it be. We got to put a stop to this ludicrous fanboying and cheering like it's the Super Bowl. And look, I get it. Politics can be fascinating, and we all have our opinions and beliefs. But seriously, it's become a toxic game. People waving their team's flag and trashing the other side if they're on the opposing teams like it's a World Series or something. Truth is, this ain't a game. This is the real deal, and it affects our lives, our communities, and our future. Politics is serious business. It's not about scoring points for your favorite team or rooting for your party like it's March Madness. This is about the policies that shape our society, the laws that govern our actions, and decisions that influence generations to come. You know, how we collectively will continue to exist. So we got to stop treating politicians like celebrities, okay? I think that's a big part of the problem. These aren't rock stars, folks. They're public servants, or at least they should be, and it should be their duty to represent us, you know, the people. But somehow, many of us has fallen into the trap of idolizing whoever we're voting for, hanging on their every word and swallowing their promises without questioning their sincerity or their intentions. That's bad. Let's face it, we're being played. While we're busy cheering for our team and booing the opposition, politicians are pulling the strings, making backroom deals, and laughing at us. They know we're too blinded by the sport to notice their real intentions. It shouldn't be about winning or losing or owning the oppo.
No, it should be about finding solutions to the challenges we face. We need to be informed, critical thinkers, and we need to hold our leaders accountable for their actions. It's time to turn off the noise, tune out the pundits, and look beyond the party lines. We can engage in respectful debates and seek to understand each other's perspective. That way we can come together and build a better future, or we can continue to cheer for our side, trash the other side, hate compromise, and watch our republic fade away into the history books. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man!
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag #IFoundProspector and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107.
Bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector
On Rock 107.
For the last decade or so, a bunch of stray cats have been living at Coors Field in Denver, and they earn their keep by catching mice. Well, now the oldest one is retiring. His name's Smokey, or Midnight, really depending on who you ask, but an animal rescue group is finding a forever home for him. They put out a statement saying he's retiring from his unofficial post as head of pest control, and so many people have been in touch that they've already stopped accepting applications.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector
On Rock 107.
Buckle up, man. NASCAR is coming to the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway this weekend. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. You know they call it the Tricky Triangle because driving around it is like trying to navigate through a Rubik's Cube on wheels, right? Seriously, NASCAR drivers got to be like the bravest people on the planet. They strap themselves into those race cars, and it's like they're playing a real-life game of Mario Kart, except there are no cute little shells or bananas to defend themselves. Just 3,400-pound metal beasts coming at them. I did the stock car racing experience this summer, and I found out firsthand how tough it is to drive fast on that track. In fact, I didn't get past 130 miles an hour. And it's not just the drivers. There's always like one guy in the crowd thinks he knows more about racing than the drivers themselves. He's got his beer gun hanging out, waving his foam finger, cooler at his side, yelling at the top of his lungs, I can do it better. Yeah, right, buddy. I'd like to see you fit into one of those cars, let alone drive it. And NASCAR fans are passionate, though. They're like a mix of diehard sports fans and mad scientists. They come armed with coolers full of cold beers, and they're ready to cheer their favorite drivers and dissect race strategies like it's rocket science. They're like instant experts, breaking every lap down, every turn, decoding the secrets of the universe. You see, the key is winning is all about drafting and fuel strategy. It's like they're channeling their inner Einstein while they're munching on nachos. And how about the names of the races? It's like they have a competition to see who can come up with the most over-the-top, patriotic, maybe intimidating names possible, all while getting sponsors in. The Bilbo Bred Super-Duper Redneck Rumble 500. Or the All-American Sonic Drive-Thru Turbo Thruster Showdown. I know they're one step away from calling it like the Intergalactic Vroom Vroom Extravaganza brought to you by Popeyes. But look, I respect NASCAR. It brings people together. It's like a high-speed family reunion. You got fans from all walks of life, united by the love of speed, danger, and the occasional flying tire. It's like a big old party and everyone is invited. But please, please promise not to drive like those racers as you head down 115 on the way home.
A blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
This guy might want to start focusing on not embarrassing himself. Cops in Chicago tried to pull a guy over on the 4th of July after they noticed that a license plate on his 2008 Acura was obscured, and he was actively taunting them with it. He covered the plate with tape and wrote a message on it basically daring them to chase him. It said, "Don't embarrass yourself, CPD," short for Chicago Police Department. His name is Alonzo Tarazzo, and he's 21 years old. When they tried to pull him over, he floored it and started a high-speed chase. But it was a busy area, and cops didn't really want to cause a crash, so they decided to call off the chase when they saw him speed through a red light. Unfortunately, Alonzo didn't realize this. He didn't know they gave up, and he handled the crashing part all on his own. He started driving the wrong way down a street, blew through 2 more lights before crashing into another car. Luckily, that woman wasn't seriously hurt, and neither was Alonzo, but he did get arrested. He's facing half a dozen charges for things like reckless driving and eluding police, and 15 different traffic violations on top of it. He told the judge he has a job interview coming up next week, but it sounds like he might not make it to that. They threw the book at him and set his bail at $250,000.
Nominee number 2.
Filthy rich people can't even tell you what milk costs, so I'm not surprised they don't know Amazon drivers don't always show up in big blue vans. A 30-year-old woman near Allentown, PA, was delivering packages in her own car this month. It's through a program called Amazon Flex where you can do that. One of her stops was a huge mansion owned by a 70-year-old media tycoon named Steven Saslow. It's 14,000 square feet, 72 acres, indoor pool with a retractable roof. Gorgeous place. There's a security gate. So when she showed up to drop off his package, he had to let her in first. But even then, after he did that, he pulled a gun on her. It sounds like he was worried she wasn't really with Amazon because she was in a 2019 Dodge minivan. And before she even got out, he was pointing a short-barrel shotgun at her. She told the cops she put her hands up, let him know she had her children in the back of the van with her. He had the shotgun in one hand, grabbed the package with the other, then kept pointing it at her and told her to get off his property. She left and called the cops. He's facing charges for reckless endangerment.
Nominee number 3.
I don't get the physics of how you do this, but it's probably easier in the sweaty, stickiest months of the year. A 24-year-old guy named Michael Brennan was arrested last Wednesday after he used a stolen credit card to book a 17-night stay at a vacation home near Clearwater, Florida. Cops found a bunch of credit cards, IDs, and social security cards that belonged to other people. While they were booking him into jail, they asked him if he had any drugs or contraband on his person, and he said no. Then they strip searched him and found a .22 caliber bullet hidden under his dingles. Yeah, his family jewels. It's not clear why he even wanted to sneak a bullet into jail, but the officer who retrieved it noted the round hadn't been fired. On top of the fraud, they tacked on a felony charge for introducing contraband into a detention facility. He got released yesterday on $15,000 bond.
Nominee number 4.
The tricky thing about doing dangerous stunts in your car is that you're attracting attention to yourself. But this guy seemed to be looking for attention. A 19-year-old man in Georgia named James Brown, no relation to the singer, was just arrested for doing donuts right in front of the police department headquarters. He was charged with reckless driving, and this seems to be a pattern for him because he has 2 other incidents of reckless driving on his record.
And the winner is
the rich guy who pulled a shotgun on an Amazon driver. You ordered the product. You buzzed them in. You still pull the shotgun? You are the Yam Bag of the Week. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Prospector's Prime Cuts Podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app. A free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.